Well, what's up guys? This is Daniel in Houston from Arms Family Homestead, and fall is here. Fall's in the air.
Yes.
And we have about a 90% chance of rain tonight. So we need to get some fall food plots and some winter pasture mix planted because deer season is just right around the corner. And this guy here is chomping at the bit.
I'm gonna shoot a deer this year.
He is so excited. So right now we're sitting in a field that's about 2 acres. I'll probably till up, disc up about, I don't know, less than an acre, maybe around an acre or so. What?
This does not even look like an acre.
Well, this is about 2 acres. So we're gonna be using the Kubota L4701 and a Land Pride disc to come in and disc everything up. This first step in the process for our food plots here was actually cutting all the hay off of it. So we had some guys come in and cut the hay, and then I came back with a rotary cutter and mowed around all the trees and kind of cleaned up and stuff. And then the next step is going to be to disc up the ground. And a lot of times people want to come in and disc and let that sit for a week or so, come back and disc it again. We're just going to be planting like cereal grains, so wheat, rye, oats, things like that. You just need to disturb the soil. So they're not a real difficult seed to get germinated and to grow. You just kind of want to disturb the soil enough and get some water on them. And as long as you got good seed to soil contact and some moisture, those grains will pop up. They're a very large seed. So as I said, we're going to be using the Land Pride. It's a DH2572 disc, and I've got the blades adjusted to the most aggressive position. So there's 2 pins. You can pull this pin and that pin, and you can straighten those bars out, and then the disc would ride almost straight across. But having them adjusted like they are right now, it's more aggressive and it'll dig a little bit better. So I'm going to get started discing. I'm not sure what Houston's going to do. He just wanted to come over and watch. So I'm going to start discing, get all this area broke up real well, and then we will come back with the seed spreader. We've got a PTO drive seed spreader that goes on the back of the tractor. It was also from Land Pride. We'll hook that up and start spreading some seed, and hopefully have all of our food plots done today before it rains. Well, I got field 1 all disced up. I'm not going to bore you guys with all of the disking I'm going to do today, but we're going to put in several food plots. I like to keep them about this size. I would say this is probably close to half an acre or so. I'd love to be able to plant this whole field. Really just can't justify, I don't have any reason to justify planting, 5 to 10 acres worth of winter pasture just to deer hunt on. These are kind of destination food plots right here, so we'll get the seed out, we'll fertilize this, try to get this growing as good as we can. But one thing I really like to do, and I showed you guys this last year if you saw our food plot video, is I've come in here over the years, and the majority of my property is timber, and we have several small fields like this, couple acres, that the deer come to in the evenings or first thing in the morning. And the bucks like to stay off in the timber, but deer and turkeys both can be lazy. They'll take the path of least resistance when they're traveling through the woods. So over the last couple of years, I've rented Kubota skid steers with the big heavy-duty brush cutter on the front from GP Rents and cut several trails. And these are kind of multi-purpose trails. We use them all year for the side-by-side and stuff and walking trails and things like that. But I come in and I disc these trails up, and then I'll plant seed. I'll plant the wheat and the rye and oats and all that stuff. And it gives the deer a nice path to walk down and to enter the field. It keeps it nice and green, so it kind of draws them to that path. But then also I do a lot of controlled burns on my property. So I have trails like this all over the place, and you can see that one kind of snakes up through the timber there. And when I plant those with nice green wheat and oats and stuff, in the wintertime those will stay nice and green, and it makes a really good fire break for controlled burn. So I'll have, you know, 5 or 10 acre blocks, or even less. Some of them are just a couple acre blocks, because I've got trails that surround each one and go up through the timber, and I can control that fire a lot better and have good fire breaks. But like I said, the main thing is the deer will come right down that path. They'll come right out into the field where either my daughter Emily or my son Houston is going to be waiting this year. I'm telling you what, that boy is pumped to be able to get to hunt on his own this year. And Emily killed a really nice buck in this field 2 years ago. And then last year, the really big deer that she killed is probably, where we were hunting, is probably only 300 yards from here. So this food plot, you don't have to hunt right over the top of these food plots. You just got to get in the path, because those big bucks are going to come to these food plots either right at daybreak or right at sunset, right at dark. Right as last light is when those bucks like to step in the field. So like last year, we were kind of in between. That buck was on his way to this field, but we cut him off about 20 or 30 minutes before dark. So it worked out perfect. So I'm going to go finish up disking, and then we'll get our seed spreader on there and start planting some seed today. Alrighty, well, it's time to start spreading some seed. And typically in the past, what I've used is just one of these little hand spreaders. It's got a hand crank on it, a little shoulder strap. You throw it around your shoulder, fill the bag up, and it holds probably 25 pounds or so of seed. But this year, we're gonna do things just a little bit different. Now, I will still use this on my trails, because the PTO spreader spreads such a broad path, and the little trails up through the woods are just like 10, 12 feet wide. And here's the PTO driven Land Pride FSP 500 seed spreader and fertilizer spreader that I'm going to be using this year. So we'll fill the hopper up, and as you can see, it's got an agitator in there. The seed falls through the little holes. You've got a handle that you can actually reach from the seat of the tractor. You can close them, and then when you're ready to spread, you just open the handles. Now, it's going to take a little bit of learning, a little bit of adjusting. I'm not exactly sure where everything needs to be set, but the good thing is this pasture mix is relatively inexpensive. For 50 pounds, I think it was like $10 or $11. So we're going to spread several hundred pounds today. Probably, I would say, half acre. We'll probably put 100 pounds or so on this. I like to spread it nice and heavy, because we're not going to pack it. We're not going to cover the seed. It is supposed to rain tonight, so we'll let that rain come in here and push our seed down into the soil, and it should germinate just fine. So let's get started. 'Cause I'm gonna wait until the end of time. Now I saw you with another. It made me feel like a fool, but that won't put out the fire. Wow. That, oh my gosh. I don't know why I've been doing this by hand for so many years. Once upon a time, I had a little small spreader similar to that went on the front of an ATV, and it held about 30 or 40 pounds. But typically, using my little bag spreader with the hand crank to do an area this size, I plant this field every year and usually spread it by hand. But it's usually about an hour or so to spread that much seed. We just put out 150 pounds of seed. I'm gonna guess in about 3 minutes. Wow, talk about a time saver. Oh my gosh. And that really is not like a huge expense for a farm. That little seed spreader right there is very affordable, or one similar. I mean, not that big of an expense for spreading seed and fertilizer. I think I'm in love with that little machine right there. Oh my goodness. So I'm gonna go ahead and reload the hopper and then use that to fill up my little hand crank spreader and go start spreading some seed on my trails before we go to the next big food plot. I just realized I didn't actually show you guys what I was planting this year, so I will go over that real quick if it'll focus. Let's see. So there's our seed mixture. It is 58% Big Max wheat, 38% Matin rye. So basically this is just a winter pasture mix that a lot of cattle producers would use for calves in the winter, or put their cows on as a winter crop. So this stuff will get really green and do really good for the deer. And then later in the winter, after deer season, I'll be able to turn my goats out and they'll come over here and graze on this most of the winter time. Another one of those right hand contraptions, so it works the same. Got a little slide lever and we'll throw seed quite a ways. So let's go hit the trails. Man, it is 12:03. I'm telling you what, having the right tool for the job makes all the difference in the world. I was able to get out here this morning, use the Land Pride disc up all of my food plots, and then get that seed spreader on there, spread all my seed, and I'm done by noon. This is usually a couple day process for me. Typically in the past I've used my tiller, which is tilling a huge plot of land is very slow because you have to do it in like the lowest gear. So just using the tiller versus the disc it uses way much more time. So the disc was awesome. The seed spreader saved so much time. So I just want to give a huge shout out and thank you to Great Plains Kubota and GP Rents. You guys know we've been partnered with them for almost, well, probably right at 3 years. And having the right tool for the job sure makes the job a lot more fun and gets it out of the way a lot faster. And then we can get back to doing what we really love, which is fishing at the creek or the pond or whatever it is. But if you'd like more information, go check out Great Plains Kubota online at greatplainskubota.com. GP Rents, if you're not, you know, in the mood for buying this equipment, or if you just need that disc that you're going to use one time a year, go rent the thing. So I know not everyone that follows us is close to our area, but go check out your local Kubota dealership. They probably have a lot of the same programs, a lot of the same deals. And like I said, this is the Kubota L4701, perfect size tractor for putting in these food plots and winter pastures and all that stuff. So it feels good to get your work done early in the morning. So we're not going to go back and cover that seed. A lot of people would come back in with a cultipacker or a drag, or even take their disc back over it. I'm not too concerned about covering up the seed because it's supposed to rain so much tonight. That'll get that seed nice and covered in that seed bed. We should be good to go. If it doesn't rain, we can always come back with the disc and hit it one more time and it'll be finished. But got out about, let's see, I put out about, I believe, 400 pounds of seed today. So we should be set on food plots and fire lanes and all that stuff for the winter. So guys, I guess that's all I've got for today. Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed it. Y'all have a great day, and as always, we'll see you on the next video.